All right, my babies, and we're back. 8.5, which is the last part of solution evaluation, the chapter, basically, chapter 8, is to recommend actions to increase the solution value. So far, let's recap. We have measure the solution performance, analyze the performance measures. Interesting. Measure solution performance, analyze performance measures, assess solution limitations, and assess enterprise limitations. So what effectively we're doing is we're kind of like, it's like taking a pen and trying to find its point of balance. And so sometimes you have to move it up, sometimes you have to move it down, sometimes you have to move it sideways, and sometimes you just have to kind of like adjust in weird ways. So the purpose of recommend actions to increase solution values is to understand the factors and relate and create differences between potential value and actual value, and to recommend a course of action. Get it? It's in the name. Recommend action to increase solution value. I don't know why, but I made a promise that I would read everything just in case something is missing. Because I am the kind of guy that feels our mind does not really like, we don't think, our mind just does its thing. So, according to Descartes, I think, therefore I am. But in truth, I would say I am conscious, therefore I am. Right? Because that is the awareness that I have. I'm aware of my thoughts, and I'm aware that my mind does its thing. So description, the various tasks in the solution evaluation knowledge area help to measure, analyze, and determine the causes of unacceptable solution performance. Unacceptable solution performance, right? Like, every solution is something. It's just like, is it giving us what we want or not? Recommend actions to increase solution value, focus on understanding the aggregate of the performed assessment and identifying alternatives and actions to improve solution performance and increase value realizations. Ta-da! That's the problem. This is what we need to do differently. Fuck yeah. Recommendations generally identify how a solution is to be replaced, retired, or enhanced. They may also consider long-term effects and contributions to the solution of stakeholders. It's all up to you, right? The more detailed and anal you go, the more of a business analyst you are. Isn't that it? Like the nerd of nerds. Input, what did I say? Is like a couple of chapters back, I explained the business analyst as, instead of the person knowing what the fuck they're doing, what they're on about, and then moving forward, a business analyst has no fucking clue, but kind of like checks everything out and sees whatever does not fall into place, and then eventually kind of have a path that works. It's the path of a startup, by the way. Yeah. So enterprise limitations, a description of the current limitation of enterprise, including how the solution performance is impacting the enterprise. And solution limitations basically are the inputs. So like your solution limitation and enterprise limitation, because you use those in order to kind of like pick the stuff that are working and are not working. Those are the points that you kind of like got from your assessment. Like, what are the limitations? What are the things fucking with the solution internally and externally? And by doing that, you get recommended actions out of them. Only makes sense, right? Tasks using this input are managing stakeholder collaboration. I think that's more related because we're working with enterprise, because like assessing enterprise limitations. So what are the elements? Adjust solution performance measures. In some cases, the performance of the solution is considered acceptable, but may not support the fulfillment of business goals and objectives. An analysis effort to identify and define more appropriate measures may be required. Recommendations, but these are the elements, like, and literally, this is what you have to write about, consider process. Recommendations, some common examples is do nothing. Recommended when the value of change is low, right? Like, a solution does not really impact, so why the fuck would we do something? Or organizational change, which means let's revamp the entire fucking organization, automating or simplifying the work people perform, relatively simple tasks, improving access to information, like stuff like that, is a process of managing attitudes about perceptions of and participation of the change-related solution. Organizational change management generally refers to a process, a set of tools for managing change at an organizational level. The business analyst may help to develop recommendations for changes for the organizational structure or personnel, as job functions may change significantly as the result of work being automated. Blah, 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 blah. New information may be made available to stakeholders and new skills may be required, right? Like, maybe you don't necessarily need a solution. You just want kind of people to do things differently, which is a solution on its own, but you don't need it. It's just kind of like, hey, let's be better. Automating or simplifying stuff or improving access to information. Also, reduce complexity of interfaces, eliminate redundancy, avoid waste, identify additional capabilities, retire the solution. Some additional factors may impact the decision regarding the replacement of retirement of the solution, include ongoing cost versus initial investment, opportunity cost of a solution. Uh, the opportunity cost is literally like, what are we missing on? So it represents the potential value that could be realized by pursuing alternative courses of action, necessity, and sunk cost. Basically, the money and effort already committed to an initiative. The issue with sunk cost is, I think it's a fallacy. Or I read an article once, a sunk cost fallacy, because you're like, I'm already in it way too deep. Might as well put the extra, like, when something's supposed to cost you 100% and you realize it's not going to work at 80, you just dump the extra 20% to make sure, right? I'm in too deep. It's a song by Sum 41, by the way. For others, I guess that's what emo used to be. So guidelines and tools, business objectives are considered in evaluating, measuring, and sorry, what are the guidelines and tools? Business objectives, current state description, and the solution scope. These make sense because, like, where are we going, where we are, and how far does the solution reach? And what are the techniques we're using? Data mining, decision analysis, financial analysis, focus groups, organization modeling, prioritization, process analysis. Look, with these, for example, they're a lot more research oriented. Organization modeling, focus groups, decision analysis. It's more of an interaction with what is going to be touched by the solution. Survey or questionnaire. What are the stakeholders? Customers, domain subject matter expert, and user, regulator, and sponsor, right? It's the same as the one before, almost all the same this time. And what are the outputs? Our recommended actions basically are the outputs. Recommendation of what should be done to improve the value of the solution to the enterprise. Yay, we're done with chapter 8, dude. Now, chapter 9, underlying competencies. Woo-hoo.